Welcome to Empowerment Radio. My name is Dr. Friedemann, and I'm so glad that you decided to join me. Empowerment Radio is about giving you the insights, tools, and solutions to address some of the most challenging aspects of our daily lives. So sit back, relax, and empower yourself.
Welcome back. Avoidance. I hope you have gained a little bit of an understanding that avoidance is optional and that this is not something that you need to live in for the rest of your life, and really seeing that anything that you stop avoiding is also something that in the end will give you a lot of rewards. Now, I'm not saying that you should avoid nothing anymore. There are certainly things you should keep on avoiding, like eating bad food or running across a busy interstate, but the avoidance of things that you know will help you to grow, that is something that if you are gently and gracefully start really getting out of this habit, your rewards will be multiple, and certainly something that I find in my clients very, very often transformational. And that is especially true when you stop avoiding yourself. Now, what I mean with avoiding yourself, it's a really, really interesting habit that I see so much more in the last 10 years than before, where there are so many ways we can avoid ourselves, that being really with yourself, without a screen, without a TV, without a person, without being somehow busy, feels odd. You know, like when people are, when you're going to a concert and then you are, after 2 hours coming home and it's quiet and your ears are still ringing and it's really weird. Well, that kind of weirdness is when you are all of a sudden sitting with yourself and there is nothing to do, nothing to look at, no one to talk to, and you're just with yourself. And that is something that, as I said before, especially during the COVID time, a lot of people were struggling with. They did realize that they were living with a stranger, meaning with themselves. And since there was not so much distraction going on, they really had a hard time to reconcile. Who is this person? Why does this person bother me? Why do I have all those feelings, emotions, and thoughts that I don't really want to hear and feel? So the avoidance of self is something that I feel we got into the habit simply because it's easier and more relieving to look at some social media or a TV show or anything like this, or keep yourself constantly occupied with others, than having to face yourself. But as we all know, there's only one person who really matters, because that one person is a person that has taken the first and will take the last breath with you, and that's yourself. And when I say only matters, I'm not saying that you should become some hermit or some egomaniac, but you have to pay attention to yourself, because if you don't know yourself, you're pretty much not knowing your life, and you're not really knowing what your life is all about. So learning to know yourself is not that hard. It is not something where you feel like, oh my God, I have done this for 30, 40, 50 years, simply ignoring myself, identifying myself with stuff outside of me. Where do I even begin? Well, just begin with simply paying attention. It's a bit like, if you would have a new relationship, if you would make a new friend, all you do is just start to listen. Be curious, be open. How does this person feel? Think. What are these little desires inside that may have never been voiced or attended to? Listen to your thoughts. Listen to your emotions. Listen to your body. Be aware of how this all works and feels together, and how you have been beautifully somehow floating above it without really being fully in it, connected to it. So when you're eating without a screen, noticing how food tastes, that's a way of learning to know yourself, because you may realize, I actually don't like Diet Coke. It's not really good, but I've been drinking it since 20 years. Weird. Or maybe I don't like meat anymore. I actually like vegetables better. Why did I not notice that every night I had an indigestion when I ate a hamburger? Whatever it is, just pay attention to yourself in that curious discovery mode. That's one way of learning to know yourself. And another way is to also learning to appreciate yourself. Observe that you are actually a good person, a person who does so many things well, a person who cares, a person who has shown up for others, a person who is very reliable. Just observe the things that you take for granted with this old excuse, aren't all people like this? Isn't that normal? Nothing is normal. You and I and everyone else is very unique, and we need to honor this uniqueness, and we cannot just brush over how we every day live life pretty much without anyone really giving us any kind of positive feedback or any kind of appreciation. So go and see your goodness, see what you're doing well, see what really is your contribution, whatever it is in life. And then listen to that little voice inside of you that again tells you maybe things that you have ignored. You can call that little voice intuition, your inner wisdom, whatever you want to call it, but there is a voice inside of you that may say, I really want to learn how to meditate. Or that may say, I really would love to be more in nature. Or that may say, this friend, we haven't really had a resolution. There's still something inside of me that I need to have a conversation with to feel that this is cleared. And again, this goes back to the conflict. All of those things are about learning to know yourself better. And when you learn to know yourself better, when you listen to yourself more, then you also know more what you're up to. Not only the desires, but maybe your talents. Maybe that what you feel is, a passion or a desire to make a contribution in life that you never have paid attention to before. Often people come to me and say, I want to change my job, my career. I just feel bored. I feel like this is not really any impact, and I'm so unhappy about this. And so I know if I only going to find my purpose, what I'm really here for, I'm going to be happy. And I say, this is not going to happen, because you can only know your purpose if you know yourself. And most people just haven't taken the time, or maybe had been too much in the avoidance pattern to really know who they are. Knowing yourself is an ongoing process. Jung said it's the privilege of a lifetime to become who you truly are. So it will take a long time to know everything about who you are, and probably I don't believe that I will always or ever know who I really am, because there's always something new to discover. So it's a journey in itself. But start this journey today by simply turning off the screens, turning off the noise, getting away from the distraction, and just sitting more with yourself and being more aware how you tick, how you feel, what that feels like, your body just in that stillness, what your thoughts are telling you, your emotions. Dig a little into the desires that you may have. Understand there is some discomfort being with yourself, but breathe into it, have compassion and patience with it, and see that this path to learning to know yourself is also the bridge to learning to love yourself. Well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for always being ready and willing to grow and get beyond the old comfort zone. So we'll see each other again in 2 weeks. Until then, watch your avoidance patterns and just gradually go beyond them. Take good care. Goodbye. Hi, Dr. Friedemann here. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. If you're interested in learning more about fear and anxiety, here you'll find guided meditations, webinars, and interviews with some of the most renowned experts in the field of empowerment. Delve into the over 230 videos and more to come every week.